hear a hoot or a haw? Or a hello? Hello? Okay. Well, thank you all for making the time to come out this evening. As our principal said, first annual homecoming celebration. So we are the pilot team tonight, the inaugural team. So we're going to enjoy ourselves and know that we will be able to advocate and market this event in the next year. So, exciting times. So I want to welcome you, yes, and say how delightful it is for you to be here celebrating with us. I have two responsibilities primarily, and before I go any further, where are my board members? Chairman of the evening and welcome, sir. Secretary of the General Assembly, Brother Paul Roberts, and I think I saw Sister Bailey and Brother Bailey, who are also board members. And is there anyone else from the board that I might have missed? Okay, all right. Well, we're all star and celebrating guests tonight. My chore primarily is to share a little bit about the history of Triple C School. So, how many of you, I don't have any crowds, but is there anyone who knows when Triple C was founded? This side of the room?
82 years ago. If you're a math, come on, math. 82 from
41.
Okay, good. That makes us how old today?
82.
82 and 7 days. 82 and 7 days. Yes, good. All right. So, what was the world like? In 1941, most of the Western world were concerned with one thing, the Second World War. We were just 2 years in to a 7-year stretch of death and genocide. In September of that year, a number of Grand Cayman families were in deep grief from the recent death of 27 men and boys who were killed when their turtle fishing schooner, the Majestic, sunk off the Keys of Honduras. Of course, this was also just 9 years after the deaths of 108 men, women, and children who died in what we call Florida Storm. Yes, deaths on land and the sea. It was difficult days and dangerous times because German submarines perused these waters and torpedoed vessels within even sight of our shores. So the Cayman Islands, the islands of time forgot, became even more remote to the rest of the world. So education for the masses in those days were meager at best. And those families who could afford it were able to send their children overseas to further their education, mainly in Jamaica, but to the US, the UK, and Canada for those who had the means. But those were the war years, and traveling by sea was dangerous, even for small motorized vessels. It was at this time that the Cayman family, the Marin family, who had a deep involvement in the Church of God, having set down their roots here, that is the church, in 1934, had a vision for their children's education, somewhat different than sending their children abroad. And to their mind, it was a matter of why not start a school here? This vision was shared by other church leaders, and so 3 of the Church of God members approached recently arrived missionaries from America, Miss Leslie and Miss Nina Watzlaff, with their vision about starting a school. And so, on October the 20th, 1941, the first day of school, we did not have a name at that time, opened and started with 7 students, mostly from the Marin family, as you would imagine, first being to register. So where was this first classroom/school? Does anybody know?
By the library.
On the waterfront. Oh, Miss Pat. Where on the waterfront?
By the library.
By
Library.
By the museum.
Oh, by the museum. Did you know the museum? Yes, the Cayman Islands National Museum. That was the place. Its history, it has been government house, police station, school, dance hall, and jail. So it was at this time that the second floor was used as that classroom, just above the jail. In 1942, I guess they might not have had problems with discipline at that point. In 1942, another missionary joined the ranks, Miss Caroline Glassman, later Caroline Merrill. It was under her principalship the school got its name, Triple C School. Those three words, creative Christian character that we now know, abbreviated lovingly as Triple C School, were words submitted by the children of that day in a bid to name their school. When Ms. Glassman pulled those words out of the hat, that's what they came up with, creative Christian character. A little while later, in 1944, the decision was taken to adopt an American-style education system offering a grade kindergarten through 12 curriculum. This system has remained and served local and expatriate children alike for the past 82 years. The first graduating class was in 1947, class numbering 7 young people. Obviously, these students had a head start, other than just when the school started at Triple C. From its humble beginnings, there was always one central goal: to provide more than just a high school or complete formal education. It was to provide a quality education with a biblical Christian worldview. Neither the founders nor those of us who have inherited the reins of the school were interested in having just a church-owned, a church-named, or a church-run school. The vision and the mission was and continues to be to have a Christian school. That is why in these nascent years, and for many years afterwards, Triple C School and Church of God Chapel congregations are intricately and consummately interconnected. In terms of the history of our school and church, when it moved from its one room above the jail, it was then housed in a makeshift dirt floor building on the premises of Church of God Church on the waterfront, Georgetown overlooking Cogs High Bay. That building is now replaced by the Kirk Freeport Lalique Crystal Building. In 1964, the school took up occupancy of its first permanent purpose-built facility located off Hospital Road, which is now the government car park by the Immigration Department of Works. Then when the school outgrew that campus, land was purchased and we moved here in 1997 to our current location. This move was made possible by the financial support of Church of God Chapels, who, for the first 10 years of the school's existence here, bore 50% of the mortgage responsibility. 2004, many of us will know that date. Hurricane Ivan called on our shores and devastated our island, flooding Triple C School building and rendering it unusable for the entire school year at that time. However, the school was able to be operational just 6 weeks later when space was provided at the Georgetown Chapel Church and their Family Life Center. So, for 82 years, Triple C School has been the most prominent ministry of the Church of God Chapels in these Cayman Islands, with longer service than any other school operating, that includes the government schools. So as we celebrate the blessings of the past 82 years, we invite you to come back home to Triple C and plant into our ministry and our partnership for the next 82 years of investments, and trust God to favor us with greater accomplishments in those years to come. An investment in education, good quality Christian education, will always serve the world and its citizens better.